So I watched a video on how to get started with freelancing using HTML and CSS, but I'm a little confused on how to get started now that I know those skills. What's up guys, it's your girl Nicole.Young and I'm back with another video, and today we're talking about, you guessed it, freelancing. So I know I made a video talking about how I will be jumping into the job hunt looking for a 9-to-5 tech position now that I've finished boot camp and am jumping into my full software engineering career. But one thing is for sure, I will never give up on freelancing. I might not be doing it full time. That might be too much to be doing that and looking for a full-time position, but I will definitely always keep it in my side pocket as a little side hustle because it is something that I love to do. I love being able to create with individual business owners and things like that. And I don't see myself ever wanting to just solely put all my eggs in one basket when it comes to a job. While I was laser focused and away from creating content while I was in boot camp, I received a lot of questions from you all about how to get started with freelancing. Now that you may have built up some skills in HTML and CSS, maybe JavaScript or other programming languages, how do you make that first step into starting your own business as a freelancer? In this video, I'm going to cover some of the really simple, easy things that you can start doing right now to get started and get some momentum going so that you can start that business. So let's get right into it. The first thing is to have a solid skill. Simple, easy. Most of you watching this video right now probably already have that covered, whether it's HTML and CSS, maybe WordPress development, web design using a builder like Squarespace or Shopify, like the list goes on and on. Have a solid skill set and one that is in demand by other people who might not have the time or desire to learn those skills. The next thing you need to do is start broadcasting your decision to go into freelancing on any social channels that you have. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is that you use, start planting those seeds and letting your audience know, letting your community know that you are making this decision and going to be putting your skills for hire. You will be so surprised how many people might be interested in working with you just by presenting what you do on those social channels. Don't count it out. Definitely be using your social channels. It is your #1 marketing tool and it's free. So take full advantage. The next thing that I would suggest is to get organized and start getting the tools together that you want to use to help make your life easier. Now, this is coming from someone who did not do this when I first got started, but trust me when I say you will thank me later. There are so many tools out there, and I would have to make a completely separate video on my favorite tools that you should use as a freelancer, but the general overarching topics that you should focus on, you want something that's going to help you stay organized within your calendar, something that's gonna help you keep scheduling all organized. You want something that's going to help you with your planning and project management. And then another whole host of tools that you should look into are tools that you could use for marketing. Marketing is the most important thing that you should be focusing on as a freelancer because it's what is going to help you continue to find new clients and to bring new people to you. Speaking of helpful tools, I wanted to share a tool that I think would be super valuable to all of you who are entrepreneurs or looking to start your own freelance business soon, and that is Webinar Geek. In the increasingly digital world that we live in today, it is so important that we are covering all of our bases and doing things that are going to attract more people, more clients and customers to our businesses and services, whether it's creating a sales funnel or providing exclusive content to your customers and clients, or even if it's just to get the word out about your services and the things that you can provide to other people. It is so great to be using a webinar to do that. And Webinar Geek makes it so easy to create a webinar from start to finish, and ones that you can even automate. They have thought about the entire process from the registration all the way to publishing and broadcasting your webinar that makes it so easy and takes a lot of the hassle off of you so that you can focus on things that are more important instead of all of the nitty-gritty details that sometimes building a webinar funnel can be. The best part about it is that you don't have to download any software or have any heavy technical skills to create the webinars with Webinar Geek. All you have to do is create an account. You can do that now by using the link in the description of this video to get started with Webinar Geek right now. Another thing that you should do is get very clear about the services that you offer and the prices that you want to charge. Now this might be very general and basic, and you might adjust them depending on, you know, what a client needs and the type of client that you are working with. But I think it's important to just get a general idea and feeling for what you want to charge. Now I get the question a lot of how much should I charge and where should I start? And the answer to that is that it really just depends. And I know that's not the answer that anyone ever wants to hear, but when it comes to pricing, it really comes down to what do you feel like your work is worth and are people willing to pay it? But the reason I suggest like coming up with a set amount of services and a set amount of like prices that correspond with that is to just limit the amount of people that might try to take advantage of you, especially if you're just getting started. Because I can't tell you how many times I've heard that a client wants a ton of services but doesn't have a huge budget to pay for certain things. So, I've heard it a lot of times enough to know that you just have to be steadfast in whatever you decide you're going to charge. And again, that is completely up to you. Along with that, I suggest before you even get your first client to figure out what your onboarding process is going to be, specifically your contract. Make sure you have a contract that outlines specifically what deliverables that you are offering and the exact price that you want them to pay for it, and also outline when you want them to pay and how you want them to pay out whatever it is that they owe you, whether it is you want 50% now, 50% when it's done. Definitely always have a contract. Can't say it enough. Say that it's just a regular part of your onboarding process. Most people will be okay with it and will be willing to sign it. But the contract, the importance of the contract, it's not just for like, oh, what if someone tries to sue me? It's not usually for that, but for you as a freelancer, getting a contract, number one, is just to protect you from having to do more work than what you are getting paid for, because this happens, and I think there's a phrase for it, service creep or something like that. I'll have to look it up. There is an actual term for when a client will sign a contract saying this is all I want for you and this is the price, and then we'll keep trying to add more and more to what they want you to do through emails or like, hey, it would be nice if you could add this, and it's like, this is not outlined in my contract. And if you don't have a contract to kind of contrast what they're asking for, it'll be a lot easier for them to add a ton of stuff and add more workload to you without you getting paid anymore. But having a contract and having things outlined of like, here's the deliverable and here's what you're gonna pay me for that, makes it a lot easier for you to charge more when they ask for more. So it's really just to protect you. It's not really about like the legal side of things. It's just really to protect you. Although if anything does happen where legal has to be involved, it's great to have. And also, just a disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, so definitely like seek legal guidance, but I just downloaded a template off of the internet and that worked for me for the most part. So you should also think about creating a portfolio or some way of displaying the work that you can do. So there are tons of ways that you can do this. Some of my favorite ways are just to create a basic website and publish it onto GitHub, or Canva actually has options to publish the slides or content that you make on Canva onto a website. And it'll just be through like a Canva link, but it's a super simple and easy way to host, you know, like a portfolio that has links and images of the work that you can do. So that's something that's really easy and very cost effective if that's where you're at. But of course, you can also just make a landing page or a simple website that has examples of the work that you do, and it just have something, a link of some sort that you can use to demonstrate your work to potential clients. The final tip that I have for you is just to be professional and put your best foot forward. As a freelancer, you are representing yourself. You want to make sure that you are putting your best work forward, that you are being prompt to meetings, that you are being super professional when you are working with other people, because it is that experience that someone has with you that they will use to decide if they want to refer you to someone else or not. It's not always just the work that you do. Sometimes it's just like how easy you were to work with and how personable you were. And things like that are just as important as doing really good work on the technical side. So make sure you're thinking about that too. It's a full package thing. You're the only one really representing yourself here. It's not like in a company where there's multiple people and you're not really the face of the company. In this case, you are the company, and you want to make sure that you are always presenting yourself in a good light so that people will continue to refer you, because referrals are huge for getting your name out there and getting more clients. It's a big way that I've been able to get more clients, is just by other people referring my services to their friends. So that was just some of the few things that I would suggest to those of you who are just getting started with freelancing. I know like it can be really scary and really intimidating, but ultimately the best thing that you can do for yourself to make that new step is just to do it. Just go for it, make the leap. So those are just a few of the tips that I have for you, for those of you who are just getting started on your freelancing journey. I know that there's so much, it feels like there's so much to think about, and it can be really intimidating. You can feel like, I don't know where to start, but honestly, you already have those skills. All you have to do is charge someone to do it for them. And from there, you will build on top of that in like marketing yourself and getting organized and building out systems. It'll all come, but you just have to start. That's the most important thing. You just have to start. If you have any other questions about freelancing, definitely leave them in the comments of this video. I'm back to getting to comments, so I can definitely answer any questions that you have, or you can DM me on Instagram. But until then, you guys, I love you and I'm rooting for you. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Peace.